Hi guys. Today we're going to talk about freedom and love. You see, I was watching a Shakira interview, and I was watching her journey, and I saw an interview in which she was asked about freedom and love. And she said, I don't understand freedom and love. And my heart went out to her. It really did, because that would be why none of her relationships have worked out so far. She's chosen the same pattern over and over again. This isn't about pointing her out. This isn't about anything else other than let's talk about freedom and love and understanding it slightly differently. Okay. First things first, let's talk about one thing. I'm Hispanic. That means I speak the way that I speak. I say things the way that they are. So Mon and I were talking about this, and she laughed because she said her mother used to say this to her. And I'm like, well, that's how I talk. She's like, yeah, we're Hispanic. I get it, but people don't. So I want to clarify that. So she was basically saying that her mom was like, I will kick your butt from here to next Sunday if I ever see you begging after a man. That's just the way we speak. We do mean it. That's how we speak. And a lot of people probably don't understand that because they don't understand how we are. Like, we say things like cabrona, and we say things like, no seas pendeja. And it basically is, don't be a dumbass. It's just how we speak. It's not meant to be offensive. It's a cultural thing. Okay, that said, let's talk about freedom in love. Let's talk about it in a slightly different manner. First things first, let me talk about a woman's healing journey after a heartbreak. So it can be summed up in several ways, but if you're in a relationship, one of the easiest things to remember is this. If you sound like this, I will die if he leaves me. Oh my God, I can't get over my obsession. This is up to only him and no one else. I'm willing to sacrifice all my joy and my happiness in order to be his. Please, don't let that fucker leave me. I will die without you. I'm teasing y'all. I don't mean this in any way, but all of you can relate to on some way, shape, or form sounding like this. If this is how you sound, you're headed for heartbreak. This is called anxious attachment. This is called not freedom. This is called everything but. This is called egoic attachment, because in that moment, what we're doing is we're clinging to the illusion of ourselves, making that thing the prize, and becoming what I like to call string-along women. This is the exact opposite behavior of a woman who knows who the hell she is, who is clear that she doesn't need anything, that she's a self-sustaining source of love, and who of her own free will choice chooses a partner who best mirrors her and is free to be as she is, so that her partner is free to be as he or she may be. It's not controlling. It's not attachment. It is complete freedom. And if it's not, then it's not love. So a lot of times what you will find is, thanks to the human condition, you will be egoically drawn to the things that are unresolved in you. You're not in love with that person. You're in love with the unresolved things, so you're trying to recreate the experiences you had as a child. And until you become aware of that, you won't realize what's driving your attraction to someone. It's really simple. But as long as it sounds needy, clingy, I can't live without you, I will die, I will never love again, if it's not you, it won't be. As long as you sound like that, you're not in love at all. You're headed straight for heartbreak. One-way ticket, let me drive you on down to String Along Valley Ghetto, where I will teach you like an option, second best. I will cheat on you. I will disregard you. I will absolutely, those are the laws. Those are the laws. If you agree to make an outside idol, the outside idol will make you its bitch. It's very much a potential. So as long as you sound like this desperate woman, you're not in love, you just think you are, and you're getting ready to go on the ride of your life. Boy, oh boy, are you getting ready to be shown how little you love yourself. All of your fears, they're going to come out and they're going to welcome you. All of your fears. Everything, every single last insecurity, it's coming for you. It's coming. It has to. Because you don't sound like a woman in love. You sound like a woman who's desperate to connect to something that's not even real. Because love is self-recognition and a look in the mirror, and it is not attached. It is aware of the relationship, and so in freedom it is allowed to be. It's not insecure at all. It's not attached at all. Free will choice. So this healing journey is interesting because what ends up happening is at first you sound like that. Then you go for the I don't need you to love me stage. It's normal. And then you say, I can love me better than me. 1, 2, 3. Once you reach the I can love me better than you did, because love me. All right? Now you have returned to becoming the self-sustaining source of love that is no longer attached, is no longer needy. It has nothing to prove. I am not concerned with whether or not someone likes me because I love me enough for that. I don't need that validation. Do you see how I don't need it at all? Someone says they don't like me? Okay. Clearly that's some aspect of myself I need to look at because I apparently don't like something about myself. Thank you, messenger. See how detached I am? My power comes. My irresistible, I can't live without you. They sound like that is because I will never sound like that. I got me. I'm the original model. And to heal from egoic attachment, to heal from, I'm going to die if it's not them. And that simple mess, to then becoming, no, I don't need them to love me. I can love me. This is the stage that all of you are following, whether you listen to me or not. I don't care if you don't want to look at your darkness because, somebody's convinced you that this whole world is love and light. No, you must become aware that you are the love and the light in the world in order to enjoy transmuting the darkness. That's why we're here. So I don't care if you don't want to listen. You're still going to end up on stage 1, 2, and 3. And when you get to 3, you will know what it sounds like to be me. And then you'll say, oh my God, Cindy was right. Fuck. Look at this. And I want nothing more than for you to reach that stage, but I will not do it for you. I will not do it for you. I will remind you. I will challenge you. Your ego is probably going to hurt when you don't like what I have to say. Maybe. And it's not that I don't understand you, it's that I will call you out on your behavior. If you're being insecure, you're being insecure. Stop that nonsense. Fear is not love. I'm Hispanic. That's what we do. We live passionately. That's what we do. So, your power isn't going to come from being, I'll die if it's not them. If that's how you're being, you're on the wrong side of the equation. Wrong side. You must take steps 2 and 3. And then at 3, here's what happens. Someone like the amazing Jonathan, who's clearly really woke, and who's clearly, he's a catch. The way that he speaks, the way that, right? Someone like a Jonathan will take notice of you. Why? Because if you elevate yourself, he will recognize himself in you. You will be his female counterpart. That will be what interests you. Someone you are free to be yourself with. But this isn't a needy energy. And that's why he wants to be with you. It's complete freedom. It's not because I affirm to death, Jonathan loves me, Jonathan loves me, Jonathan loves me, Jonathan loves me. That bullshit. If I have to work that hard to convince someone else to love me, the problem is me. Because who in their fucking right mind spends all of that time affirming for someone else to love them when they should be the ones who feel this way about themselves? See the reasoning? But you don't get there until you realize stage 3. I can love myself better all by myself. I can do that. Because once you become that, that is your standard. And now any gentleman or woman, female, doesn't matter, right? Whatever counterpart energy, must match this in order to make the cut. Because that's what makes you want to be with them. You recognize yourself in the mirror just as much as they recognize themselves. So stage 1, 2, 3. By 3, once you are that self-sustaining source, your lack of attachment, your total freedom of choice is what drives them. And then both of you are free to be. Free to be. And the way that you add to each other's lives is a choice. It's not something you sit here and, oh, I've got to fix my self-concept over and over again until this person does what I say. That's self-seeking. That's the opposite of love. It's the opposite. But if you're trying to attract a better partner, we have to become it first. So we must go through stages 1, 2, and 3. Or if you're lucky, like my mom, you'll start at 3. And remain there your whole life so that stages 1 and 2 sound ridiculous. Actually, no. Maybe you start at stage 2 and 3 becomes the goal. And once you achieve that, 1 sounds impossible. The most beautiful part about source perspective is understanding that you are the entire universe. When you truly, truly grasp that, everyone who loves you like you love yourself will recognize that you are the universe. Period. You are the universe. You are their universe. They will call you their universe. And although they say, yes, I want you, because they have to be just as detached as you are, they will say, yes, I want you to be happy, but if I'm not it, you're where I'm placing my bets. If I'm not it, let me go. But you are my world. That's my standard. Anybody that wants into the Cindy circle, in terms of romance, that's how they sound, or they don't make the cut. Period. That is my standard. Why? Because I know that I am the world now. You have to be so steeped in your understanding of your wholeness of your spirit, in your understanding of God, to be you. To be the entire universe in order for it to be reciprocated in the mirror. That's not done through attachment. So that healing, you know? The Miley Cyrus, the Shakira, the J-Lo's, all of them, they're trying their best. They're not exempt because they're beautiful and fit in shape or whatever. No woman is exempt from this. And none of you in this group as women, this is fair warning, you will lose your backstage pass to Cindy if you sound like this, if any woman on this channel, so help me God, says something of even remotely close to this, if they're so beautiful and pretty, what hope do we have? Oh my God. No. You know better. You know better. You actually can see where they failed and why. And if you don't, then you haven't spent enough time with me. Because no one is exempt from the human condition. Everyone wears the human Christ. Everyone is afraid of betrayal, rejection, abandonment, injustice, and humiliation. Because those 5 things are the universal human experience. That's what we're afraid to face. And that's the fear that's in control, that's causing the division. Because that patterned experience is the human costume you put on. And that is the veil you must go through. And the only way through is to stop being afraid of this design so you can take it off. So that you can be in the world and not of it, free to enjoy. That this healing journey, if you guys don't listen to me, because I'm giving you the shortcut, if you guys don't listen to me, it's okay. You will still end up by hook or by crook where I'm standing. Where I'm aware that I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I'm not attached, and I'm able to perceive myself well. There is no insecurities at all whatsoever, and I'm never worried about someone saying, Cindy, I don't love you anymore. That doesn't happen in my world. It's impossible. Why? Because I will never stop loving myself. I'll never stop loving my spirit. We'll call it God for the sake of saying that this is the spirit inside of everybody. Okay? I'm calling it God right now. I love God so hard, so much, that everything else is a byproduct of that. And that's why I am loved so hard. I am the standard because me and the I am, good luck prying us apart. I'm never letting go of this because I am my ride or die. I will ride or die for this right here all day long. This is the only concern I have because this is the projector that decides the quality of my life. Everyone else runs on autopilot to show me how well I am loving this right here. I'm loving me. Everything else is that byproduct. How do I know that? It's very simple. In love is love reflected. And until you reach that stage, you won't recognize the love that's being reflected. So you must be willing to examine those 5 things that you're afraid of the most and transcend them so that your unapologetic free self isn't concerned about some chick online. Like, you lose your card to me if you do that stuff. Because as everything, every other woman is made in your image. This is true of all of us. I'm made in Helen's image. I'm made in Jasmine's image. I'm made in Jenny's image. You're made in mine. And what is that image? Those are the experiences that we share, that we have in common. We all wear the same human costume. The experiences happen in randomized patterns very specifically for you to discover how this works. We all run the same program. And your liberation is obtained from being your own source of love, not seeking validation anywhere else, and noticing who of their own free will sounds like you do. Of your own free will means I do not spend all day going, Jonathan loves me, Jonathan loves me, Jonathan loves me. I would never do that. That type of thinking is so ass backwards. I don't care who tells you that that works. Of course it works, but why would you want to convince your brain to get the illusion of you to love you when all you have to do is love you? And then see who matches. Why are you struggling? It's not how it works. Not how it works at all. When you are that standard now, that gives you the strength to look at everything properly. Sorry guys, I'm getting a call. It gives you the strength to look at everything properly. And so with that detachment, many of us are going to go through those stages. You're witnessing some of the biggest celebrities in the world going through those stages. So as you can see, it has nothing to do with anything. Okay? But you cannot say, oh, Adriana Lima is the most beautiful woman in the world. Who the hell cheats on her? What kind of crack was that person smoking? Well, if she didn't choose herself and she made him the prize, then he makes her an option. Cause, effect. It's not a mystery. You must accept responsibility for first cause. That's why you cannot be afraid. That's why your unapologetic self-expression comes out. And whoever matches that, that's your standard. That's your standard, period. And it's not going to come from attachments. At all. Okay, Jasmine, I'm so glad you're at stage 3. Listen, once you reach stage 3, every ex comes back. They all come back. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what I had. Please take me back. It's normal. Look at my eyes. It's normal. Why? Because since you can't lose you, you always remember that, so you move, and what happens? The shadow follows. And then you decide, because a lot of the times, as women, as we level up, the way that we know we've leveled up, our type isn't our type anymore. We no longer need to resolve that, so we've moved on, and we go resolve something else. There's no attachment here. There's no fear. No fear. Why would I be afraid when I am the one on display in every direction? If I'm afraid of losing someone, I'm afraid of losing myself. Understand the mirror. If I treat someone else like the prize, I have made myself second best and second option. If they are the prize, then the consequences of being the second place is obvious. Let's see. We'll be used for sex. I'll be friends with benefits but never the girlfriend. I'll be initially interesting and then discarded. These are all scripts. They're not new. They're not new. Like Jenny says, Jenny, my favorite person, she says it all the time, the dejected lover script is the most common one in the world. We all played the role. They're all scripts of a consequence that you were told not to have, and that's fear. You ditch the fear when you know yourself. So, first stage, yes, maybe we have puppy love, we think we can't live without them, whatever. That leads to stage 2 where we're like, I don't need you to love me. If that's how you love me, I don't need... We reach that. We detract, right? We repent. Third stage, I can love myself. I can love myself better than you did. That's not going to work for me. See how I'm the standard? So I'm going to step it up. And whatever comes must match me. 1, 2, 3. And the reason that I sounded so confusing to some of you is I start at stage 3. Now, you're more than welcome to go through steps 2 and 1. You will still end up at stage 3. And it doesn't matter who you are at all. It doesn't. We all go through the same experiences, and that's what makes me different. I am breaking down universal experiences and teaching you how to solve them in your life when they come up, because these are the things that are causing you pain and suffering. The inability to let go of something is like an anchor that weighs you down. And so then all of your actions going forward will be decided by someone who is living from a 5-year-old scared standpoint of what happened to them when they were 5, 7, 8, 9, whatever. That's deciding. And some of you could be 50 years old and still have that deciding your life. How do I know? That's me. Talking to myself, guys. It's me. Okay. Megan gave a brilliant affirmation in the call. I am the incredible thing. If we're affirming anything, it's our own brilliance. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. It's not that I think affirmations are wrong. It's that you have to consider the hidden motives. Many times I tell you guys this often. If you're searching for a love partner and I tell you that you're trying to force something into place, that's a hidden motive. That's I'm going to go about this whole journey of discovering who I am. I'm going to try and figure it out because at the end of the day, I know I will end up with that person. That's a hidden motive. That is not what you want. That's the wrong anchor to hold on to. If instead you say, I'm going to go about this journey and whatever happens, happens. If it's that guy or if it's 20 million times better, I am open, but I'm no longer attached to that anchor that it has to be this person. This is not the reason I will begin this journey. I will begin this journey because I will obtain my liberation from egoic attachments. Once you do that, you are free. And then, and only then, can you understand the absolute freedom that is love. The absolute free will choice that isn't going, Jonathan loves me, Jonathan loves me. You know how I feel about that affirmation. Because the premise is all wrong. It's based on a hidden motive. It's based on the fact that I'm neglecting my soul in an attempt to get someone else to love me when I clearly don't love myself, because only someone who doesn't love themselves would focus on the one person who isn't loving them and trying to convince them to love them instead of realizing, hold on, I'm not choosing myself. And that's why this person's not choosing me. In that moment, I make it all about this person and not me. So as long as he is or she is the prize, I cannot be considered the prize. I automatically place myself as second best. These are spiritual laws, but when you follow them, they make sense, but first you have to apply them. First things first, apply them. Okay? There are people trying to get into my group, and their claim to fame is how they manifest the dude. Clearly, they're still on the waiting list. They have not gotten it. I'm not sure if I want to explain the fact that I just don't support that type of business anymore. I can't. I can't. Because if love isn't freedom, it's not real. If I have to convince someone, if I have to affirm to death, it's not real. It's an obsession. It's the stage one. It's the stage one that's going the wrong direction. It's headed into String Along Valley Ghetto. and not into I will commit to you forever, exclusive, elite neighborhood. Whatever we do it together. We ride or die. I am investing everything in you. Yes, you and I together. But I choose that. Not because I need you, but because you add to me and I see your value as a partner. This is the masculine perspective, regardless of gender. The masculine perspective doesn't care about anything else except recognizing himself and looking for a wise counsel that will guide them as they go. And this woman isn't afraid to be herself, is not insecure, is not worrying about any of that. But yes, you see, Jenny, not the String Along Valley ghetto, the Dasani of mass manifestations. That's her. Yes. That is not where I want you guys to be headed. But the minute you invite fear, you activate the scripts that go along with Dejected Lover, String Along Valley. Everything that lives in that ghetto, you get to participate in that. And those ghettos can get pretty ugly. Think of the worst roach infested place ever. Like horrible, like you can't even set down anything because think of that. That ghetto would be when you're being physically abused. That's the extreme of that ghetto. And they vary in degrees of ghetto. They're still ghetto. They're ghetto because they don't sound anything like the exclusive elite. I commit to you. I love you. I choose you. I want you. Please have me. I take a knee. Do you know why a man must take a knee to a woman? Because she's so connected to God that this is his key in the door. He's taking a knee to agree to submit to the same spirit that she already submitted to. So symbolically, when that man takes a knee, he's allowing himself to be led by a spirit. And he knows that she's connected. And a lot of men don't understand that. They just do it because it's tradition, right? No. No. Of their own free will choice, they're saying, if you allow me to lead you and be with me and we guide each other and guard each other, we will both submit to the same force and we will work together as one body and one mind. Will you have me? And they sound like that when you have become unattached. When you have become aware that it's just a look in the mirror. That's why the insecurities can't exist. That's why we can't make it. I'm not saying they're not special, but in this case, there is no specialness of being because everything is you. Everything is equally you. The real you. Everything is equally God. And so then it really is a free will choice. And so I focused on this today more than anything because I think a lot of us, when we attach like this, we invite fear, we invite insecurities, we invite things that destroy a relationship. And you will do it over and over and over again. And many times you'll even question. You'll go, why in the hell can't I get this right? What's wrong with me? All of those scripts also belong to the fear, not to you. Your thoughts are thinking you. You are not thinking these thoughts. And that's not how we obtain liberation. Liberation comes from understanding how to choose your thoughts the way you choose your clothes. That's where it comes from. And some of you don't even realize that you're not free. I was one of those people, so I'm not in any way pointing fingers out like to say, oh, no, boo-boo, you can do this and I can't, and vice versa. No. No. Up until 5 years ago, it was about 5 years ago, I think now, maybe more or less, I don't know, time sort of blurs for me. But up until about 5 years ago, I didn't know I was running on autopilot myself. It wasn't until God literally unhooked me and said, it's okay, baby, look, you come with me and I'll leave your body on autopilot. I got the remote control. Don't you worry, just come with me. And it wasn't until I walked into heaven alive that I realized it was possible, because two things were happening. I was watching myself jog on the street, but I exerted no effort because my body was running like an automaton all by itself. 6.5 miles didn't feel a goddamn thing because I wasn't in there. My body was running on autopilot. And if it hadn't been for that experience, I wouldn't be able to tell you how to obtain this liberation in the exact same fashion. As long as you are afraid of these experiences, you will run on autopilot and your thoughts will think you, and you will forget to be one. You will forget that you're looking in the mirror. You will participate in all the fear-based drama and all the illusions that the ego comes up with to test you, to see how well you have accepted everything you are, your experiences. What have you learned? How are you treating the illusion of you? It's going to test you perfectly. And if in this moment you have forgotten that you're looking in the mirror, you have created the division that doesn't exist, and now you're attached. And now, you hope it's him and you die for him and all this stuff. Well, you're now his puppet. There's nothing I can do to help you until you snap the hell out of that shit. That's how my mama would say it. In Spanish, I just translate. Mon's mom would say, I will kick your ass if you ever sound like one of those women. Ow. Okay? I say that, but she spoke with such certainty that it was understood I was not allowed to ever grovel. And because of that, I'm not attached. I choose freely, and I am chosen freely. My mastery is coming from my 3D evidence. The way that they devoted, the devotion, the sad, everything, the way that they love me is the way that they love themselves. But they choose. I don't choose. And anytime someone sounds disrespectful, unkind, or whatever, in peace, I deal with it. But I choose to stay or not. There's no fear in that. I know I am loved. And your counterpart should leave no stone unturned to remind you of this, and you should do the same. Because we receive what we put in. If you put in fear, all of the fear outcomes come out. Love is mathematically just. That's not my words, those are Shakespeare's. It's mathematically just. It's equal on all sides. So I am the incredible thing. I need you guys to remember that. And understand the stages. You're witnessing it. You're witnessing it. Every love song ever, ever, ever was built that way. And you're witnessing it now. So if we can hurry on down to step 3, you will understand love and freedom. And if you can't, then 1 is about to drag you wherever it wants to. And you'll still end up at 3. Yeah? Okay. I love you guys. Thank you.